Welcome to TheoTrade. It's Don Kaufman here, July 15th, 2026. It's a Wednesday afternoon. There's 30 minutes to go to the cash close, and what we are seeing in trade today can only be described as an absolute rotation slop fest of a marketplace. I know those are not necessarily professional trader terms, but allow me to explain a little bit. The first point that I would like to make this evening is look, we really did try to test this marketplace quite a bit lower, and we just bounced back. And the bounce back, though, it's much more, again, about these rotations. Okay. Once again, though, before we go into any depth of these rotations, you got to recognize that we're still not forging any new ground in markets. Everybody wants it. It's an all-time high. It's an all-time high. Whoa, calm down there, cowboy. Always make sure in your futures that you're what we term contract adjusted here. Okay, so where are we right now? Okay, the chart that is in front of you, and I like to spend a little bit of time on here, make sure everybody understands exactly what they're looking at. The chart in front of you, in fact, this is so important. I'm going to open up the full Monty over here. Chart in front of you is 180 days of the S&P futures. It is broken into 4-hour candles, meaning every one of those tiny little lines on there is 4 hours in the marketplace. And for the most part, you know, the S&Ps trade 24/5, right? So pretty much 24 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now, we went through this incredible period back here, okay, of quite a bit of a slop fest, followed by a little bit of volatility, okay? And what are we back to right now, okay? A marketplace that's, where are we? Basically the center of the range. And everybody wants to sit here and prognosticate, okay, about the S&Ps, and they're going to break the range this way, and it's all bullish. And I was talking about this in the weekend update too, right smack in the middle of the range. You can read into this all you want. It's not going to tell you anything, okay? What you have to start to look at to really get and kind of garner a little bit more of a feel for the marketplace is what the rotations happen to be. And to me, more importantly, like, you ask yourself, what got the spiders to the levels they're at? Like, what got the S&Ps to the levels they're at? The QQQ on a year-to-date basis is up 16%. The spiders are up about 10%. What got the NASDAQ, okay, to the levels that it's presently at? And the NASDAQ's basically the same thing, right? It's that same kind of slop fest, but the NASDAQ's maybe a little bit lower. I know people are looking at this and thinking like, oh no, it's forming a giant wedgie. It is a giant wedgie. Anyway, you know, look, I would agree with that. The situation's definitely coming to a head. But go back, okay, to the absolute basics of this. What brought the NASDAQ up here? The answer to that would likely be found in the semiconductors, in the SMH, okay? Because no matter what you want to pull up in terms of other, you know, you can pull up like XLK, which is the technology select, and that's up 25%. I'll give you that. It's up 25%. But it's, you know, unequivocally is the semiconductors that got us here. Therein lies a little bit of an issue, because in today's trade, like, I know that the S&Ps are up 14 here on this Wednesday afternoon, but in today's trade, the semis, they definitely feel like they're starting to test a little bit lower. Like, if there's a bearish tilt to this marketplace, semiconductors are taking a hit. But as we start to rotate a little bit out of the semiconductors, I am seeing, okay, and again, where's the rotation out of semiconductors? Where's it going to? Let's start with financials, okay? Let's start with financials. Take a look at the financials. The financials are clearly, okay, they're only up, what? Not even 3% on a year-to-date basis. But, okay, they are right now the beneficiaries, okay, of capital rushing, okay, out of some of the semiconductors. In a moment here, we're going to look at Micron specifically. We're going to look at AMD. Let's get crazy. But before we do that, where are we also seeing rotations? You're aware that Apple, okay? Apple, in the last couple of trading sessions, this thing is straight up. Okay, it's absolutely straight line up. After breaking down, threatening, you got one, you got two hits, you got three consecutive hits at or above the expected move, okay, in consecutive weeks, which is, again, it's a huge rotation in here. If you're looking today, you're going to be looking at Google, okay? Right, Google is one of the beneficiaries, okay? You know, what else you got? Microsoft is not. They're definitely rotating into Microsoft, but what I see today is specifically a rotation into, okay, the mega cap of tech. We're all of a sudden rotating back to the mega cap of tech, including the likes of like Facebook. Why? Well, it seems that we started to sell the Microns, okay? Micron is, you know, this is pretty much ground zero for the rally, okay? When you look at the SMH, the semiconductors, ground zero for that is Micron. Ground zero for it is, you know, AMD. AMD's up 130, you know, what, 136%. Micron's up, okay, 187%. Marvell, which is smaller, it's only up 130%. It's already broken, right? Then you pull up Intel, okay, Intel, it's going to be interesting here, 160%. Those underlyings that I just pulled up, I want you to see like Intel, this is a critical level. What level is that? The 100, okay? I mean, basically at 100 with earnings coming up. So these underlyings are not only like Intel's not necessarily over and done with. Its earnings are going to come out. And if the earnings come out, they better smoke their numbers. This thing's going to pop back up, okay? Taking a look back over at Micron. Micron's already through its earnings. Nothing is necessarily going to save this. And if the South Korean markets continue to sell off, you're going to see sell-side activity here. But in the near term, the market's kind of saving itself by rotating back again into the mega market capitalization. So the trade is very, very persistent. Okay. And for now, like the best read that I could possibly give you is to go again to this 180-day 4-hour chart, to contract adjust it, and to tell you, okay, the rotation is a very pure one. It's almost a 1-for-1. So if you're looking at like the semiconductors getting absolutely crushed, okay, the beneficiary of that is Apple. And you're like, yeah, but Apple's not up anywhere near what the semiconductors are up. And I want to make this point for a second. Okay, Apple's up 20% now on a year-to-date basis. Of course, it's not up as much as Micron, but is it worth anywhere near what Micron is worth? Absolutely not. Okay, Apple is almost a 5 trillion with a T dollar company. Micron, okay, is what? 1/5 its size. So a big give up in Micron is less, okay, of a move to the upside in something like Apple. But what I'm trying to position here is that when it comes down to billions of dollars, you know, people are talking about hundreds of billions of dollars are leaving, for instance, Micron. Yeah, they're flowing basically, that market capitalization is flowing directly into Apple. And where are we? We're stuck in the middle with you. That's it. You know, we're rotating towards financials. Nobody wants to buy financials because, you know, if the semiconductors go up in flames or the AI trade goes up in flames, right? AI trade is not about just the AI stocks. It's about the debt load. It's about all the debt. And guess what? You know who's carrying the bag of debt? Okay, huge portion of that. Yeah, right there in the financials. Right there in the financials, big guy. So that's easy enough to position. That's what the marketplace is. Now, as I was getting to a little earlier, if there's one kind of like a little bit of a tilt in what I'm saying over here, the aspect that makes me nervous is, yeah, the NASDAQ, I'm not even going to so much as call this the lower end of the range. The NASDAQ is like somewhere around like 29,000 even, would be a very threatening place. What I don't like right now in this week, okay, I don't like that CPI came out. CPI absolutely cooled. Not a question about it. But it cooled because CPI was measured when oil did this. This is the oil chart. Oil was straight down. Yeah, CPI cooled. But CPI cooled a lot. And the marketplace, now we're going to cruise to the SPX, the marketplace didn't react well. That was on Tuesday that CPI came out. And this morning, we got PPI, okay? And that's, the previous Fed, right? Jerome Powell always liked his PPI, and the market's not reacting necessarily positively to a cooling PPI either. So you're in a bit of a catch-22 right now, and the bonds, they didn't recover. Like, it still tells me that, like, look, rate hikes might be coming, or bond vigilantes are going to continue to sell. But bond vigilantes? Bond vigilantes is simply the idea that, okay, eventually, if there's a huge amount of debt, the bond market just says, screw it, and starts to sell off and raise interest rates. And there is that feeling in the air right now, especially when I talk to other traders. That's kind of the feeling in the air. Does that come out in the charts? Not as much, other than to say that the SPX, again, is massively, we are massively unchanged on the week, like almost to the penny. The line on your screen is literally the unchanged mark for the week. So you have, if you will, what you thought was going to be spectacular data. It really was. CPI is cooling, great, spectacular. The market popped huge and then reverted back down. PPI comes out and the market pops and then reverted back down a little bit. And here we are, unchanged on the week, not what I would have expected. So what are we looking at for the remainder of the week? Because we're still, as I said, stuck in the middle with you. Stop reading into it. Stop prognosticating. If this happens, that happens. Look, forget it, okay? You're left in the hands of bonds. If the bonds continue to sell off, interest rates go up, okay? Eventually, the S&Ps are going to toss in the proverbial towel. But for now, we continue to rotate. The rotation dance goes on. And the rotation dance, look, we're 60-40 advanced decline line. We haven't correlated. Nothing's going on with that. So for the remainder of this week, okay, in a marketplace that feels like it doesn't matter, it's just going to rotate through it. But for the remainder of this week, you still have quite a bit of volatility, okay, that's very, very likely. Now, yeah, we have also the administration that's going to make some kind of an announcement on Thursday, okay? There's no question that the administration, whatever the announcement's going to be, okay, markets are going to react. But forget what I'm saying about that, and forget, people are going to be like, well, the administration's going to do this and they're going to do that. Forget about it. Forget about it. The best way to gauge what the administration's going to do is to look right there. We're still looking at plus or minus about a $55 move, okay, for just Thursday and Friday. Me, I'll take the over on that. I think we're going to move more than that, okay? So once again, you got to kind of strap in. Again, the only bearish tilt I have to the marketplace is that the semiconductors they're in trouble right now. They're in trouble. They look like they're going to break lower. And I think that the semiconductors, if they really start to go for it to the downside, okay, you're going to see the likes, like you even saw this today. You saw the likes of like Caterpillar getting pulled into it. Like Caterpillar has been trading like a semiconductor, okay? That doesn't look good. And it tested dramatically lower before kind of rebounding. And as I said, Micron tested dramatically lower, okay, before kind of rebounding. And the South Korean markets do have a say in this. Okay, if the South Korean markets crash, it's not going to crash the U.S. markets, okay? But it is. Okay, if the South Korean markets crash, it's not going to crash our markets. But it absolutely is. And I'm going to bring up the South Korean markets. These South Korean markets are definitely going to pull down semiconductors, okay? We've got earnings of like Taiwan Semiconductor coming out tomorrow, which is going to impede upon markets as well. But the big question is, if we start to rotate very, very heavily out of Micron, will we continue to see rotations? My feeling is no. What's eventually going to happen is we're going to continue to rotate out of Micron. This is the marketplace that got us here, this is the marketplace that rallied the whole market. These things start to really come off, that the rotations are actually going to cave in. And that's, the pending doom, if you will, of this marketplace. And we just can't get out of our own way, though. We continue to rotate until we don't. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here at TheoTrade. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.